Hey folks, it's Bill, and we've got Bob Chiapardi with us tonight. Just want to chat with you and see how things are going for you.
Sure.
What do you think about ROCKNPOD?
It's fun. This is my second year here. Last year I spoke on a panel type of thing, but this year just talking with the podcasts like yourself and having a fun time.
My understanding is you do the marketing part of this. Is that correct? Not of this event, but of the rock world. Is that correct?
I'm kind of have a lot of different hats.
All right, yeah.
I'm through the my company is Concrete Marketing.
Okay.
We just celebrated 40 years last year, and over those 40 years, we're known for our hard rock, heavy metal marketing. The first band we marketed was Armored Saint. The second was Metallica, Kill 'Em All.
Oh, some really small bands that never made it.
Little baby bands, you know. And then we kind of expanded into whole different areas. So we had a publicity department, we had a radio department. We created a magazine called Foundations Magazine, and that was a trade publication, kind of like Billboard, only specifically for metal.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And from there, we did a convention, Foundations Forum Convention, which we did for 10 years. And Ozzy performed there, Pantera, Motley Crue, Van Halen accepted an award there. I mean, the list goes on and on. We actually, at the time, we had one of the few performances. I think there were only 2 or 3 until way later on, until decades later, of Temple of the Dog.
Oh, yeah.
Soundgarden performed, Alice in Chains performed, Extreme. I mean, a lot of bands.
Wow. So where is that today? Is it still ongoing?
No, we did it for 10 years,
okay.
And then when it was a big endeavor. Okay, we would go.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, we would take over a hotel at the LA airport. 1,000 rooms. Kevin Lyman, who does Warped Tour, and Lollapalooza, both those tours, production-wise, he would come in and he would turn the grand ballroom into basically a metal club. And we have 2 stages, one for the larger bands and one for the more baby bands that were just coming up. And for 3 nights, on and off, one stage on, one stage off, one stage on, one stage off. We do that all night, and then during the day we would have panels, so kind of instructional stuff. And then the labels would come in, and they would also do launch parties, type of a thing. It was pretty wild.
Wow.
No one ever died, which was great.
Well, that's always good. That's a plus.
Yeah. One time we had the fire marshal came down and had to break everything up. All the bands were told that they weren't allowed to use any pyro.
Yeah.
Right? But Mr. Yngwie Malmsteen is always a little bit of a challenge as a person.
I've never heard that before.
No, I know. Most people say he's a sweetheart.
Yeah, there's a side. Everybody has a side to some degree, right? It's just
right.
How it rears its ugly head at times.
So he lit his guitar on fire, and the alarms went off, and we had to clear the room like 1,000 metalheads, which was like I said, no problems, no. But everybody was very pissed at Yngwie. Yeah. The next day, his manager came up to me and he said, "Yngwie's missing a guitar." I said, "I have no idea what happened to it. Don't go."
Yeah, especially in the state that we're in with the the other things that have happened with that kind of stuff, and you got to be very safe. That safety is number one.
Yeah, exactly.
I just attended the Disturbed show on Thursday night.
Oh, okay.
And we were just shocked. They have a lot of pyro. They did a lot of pyro stuff at their show. But when they were in Chicago, they melted. So they had some issues with some of the flames that they'd shot up had melted some of the Bulls. Banners.
Oh wow!
That were hanging there from their championships.
Wow!
So my son works for Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis.
Okay.
And so I was asking him, I'm like, "What are they doing?" He said, "That's all been tested. We've tested. It gets tested every time they do pyro stuff like that." He said, "But we knew about that show. We were warned, and we took care of it and stuff like that." But yeah, you don't mess with that stuff. There's been some bad stuff happen. So
very bad stuff.
Yeah. So it's got to be But on a better note, let's get off that.
Yeah.
Let's get off that train.
So,
so what are you working on now?
So lately, I've been doing less marketing in the sense of what I used to. I mean, back in the day, I had like 35 people working for me. When the music industry, especially hard rock and metal, went on the slide, got into different things. Lately, I've been making documentaries.
Oh, cool.
We just did the first cut of a 3-part series on Steve Cropper, who actually lives here. For the listeners out there who don't know who Steve Cropper is, Steve Cropper is probably one of the most underrated but infamous, amazing guitarist that's ever lived. He was in the house band for Stax Records out of Memphis. He co-wrote songs like Soul Man, I'm Coming, Respect, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay.
Oh, some flops, right?
Some flops, you know.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
that's incredible.
He was a producer, songwriter, and played guitar on Otis Redding, Wilson Pickett. He what do you call it? He basically invented a style of guitar that you go into a studio and a producer might be looking for a certain sound. He'll go, give me something Steve Cropper-ish. And it's that, if you listen to like the beginning of Soul Man, those little sweet little
runs and
not really runs, but just a little tasteful, like little licks. That's Steve's signature. Then he went on. He was a guitar player in the Blues Brothers, and then produced John Mellencamp. He produced. He did work with Rod Stewart, Ringo Starr. Produced Keith Moon. He was actually supposed to produce the Beatles, the Rubber Soul record.
Oh wow!
And they had booked a studio down in Memphis, and they wound up changing their minds. But he was actually going to do that. So yeah, he was his first band he was in was Booker T and the MGs. So if you listen to Green Onions, that's Steve on guitar for that. You ask any guitar player. In the documentary, we've got Brian May, we've got Joe Bonamassa, we've got Skunk Baxter, we've got I'm sorry?
Hold that up a little closer. There you
go. We got Skunk Baxter, we've got John Oates, we got Billy Gibbons, Bonnie Raitt. We've got like a list a mile long, and they all say what an influence he was. Joe Wall said listening to Green Onions was the reason he picked up the guitar.
Wow.
So
that's incredible.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing story.
Yeah. So when is that due to come out then?
It'll be next year. I mean, we just did the first edit. We've got to start shopping it, but it's there'll probably be some teasers up in the next month or so.
Would that be like a Netflix kind of thing or something?
Probably like a Netflix type of a thing. Yeah. We'll probably do some like a limited 1 week run in theaters.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But for the most part, it'll be a Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO, something like that.
Yeah.
There was actually for anyone who's interested in Stax, there's a great part documentary on it in HBO.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, very good. We were down there. We were in Memphis last summer.
Okay.
But Stax tour was all sold out when we were there. We didn't buy one early enough.
Okay.
Thought we'd have some time, and it was like it didn't work. So, just not good timing for us. But definitely go back. I mean, that area down there was amazing, and just walking through and for me, being a music buff and somebody that really likes it, seeing where those people created that art, is amazing. And to stand there and you go like. Okay, so we had an opportunity one time. We did a tour of the Grand Ole Opry.
Okay.
And standing on the stage, standing in the circle. Now the circle's been moved to the new Opry, but the original Ryman, just here in Nashville, you're standing on that stage, and if you just give yourself. I just stood there for a minute and closed my eyes and thought about like the people that have stood here on this stage and what it has done to music and all genres of music, right? It just amazes, it's amazing. I get goosebumps now.
No, totally. It's not rock history, but just musical history.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, it's
because
amazing.
it all comes from. It branches off, right? So but that core, it's just it's just amazing.
For anyone out there who's going to Nashville, just touring the Ryman itself is amazing because the speakers that were there, besides the musicians, the Mark Twain spoke there, FDR spoke there. I mean, just incredible amount of people that performed on that stage or spoke on that stage.
Yeah. And I think the cool thing too is it's just it's changing here.
Yeah.
We have more artists from the West Coast that have moved into the area, and I think that's a big plus. And I think that's helped the area quite a bit. I'm not from here, but we come down. We're not very far away, 4 hours.
Right.
So it's an easy thing. If I see something on a schedule that looks like it'd be pretty cool, it's not hard to jump down.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people. Some people still think it's just strictly all country stuff, and there's so many other options.
So many rockers
and genres,
living here,
and so many people that you bump into, and it's just kind of crazy.
I still do marketing work with Megadeth. Dave Mustaine lives like 2 miles from me.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Lizzie Hale and the Hailstorm. They live down here.
Yep.
I mean.
Yep.
What do you call it? Vince Neil's down here. Peter Frampton's down here. John Oates. I mean, the list goes on and on of rockers that are down here.
Yeah, and and I think the cool thing too is we have these the Rare Hair shows that we had one last night. Those things happen pretty regularly.
Yeah.
So you have an opportunity for sure.
Totally.
To see some rare artists you don't get to see anymore. They pop up and show at those, which is incredible, and then get to see some new stuff that's out. There's a lot of new bands here that we're seeing today that we've known for a couple of years or whatever. They're starting to get there. They're getting some recognition and stuff like that. And I think from you guys, from the marketing perspective, I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Trying to get the word out, trying to get people out there, trying to get them on shows and that kind of stuff. And it's not dead yet, so we're going to keep doing this.
Exactly, without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks, man, for sticking with us for a few minutes.
No,
really
I appreciate
it.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
All right, have a good one.
Okay, you too now.
You too.